Welcome into Chalk Talk Social. It is Tuesday, September 30th. I'm here joined as always with my co-host Iman. What is going on, man?
What's going on, Austin? Hey, listen, weekend was good. I'm not sure how you feel because I don't know what you think about a tie in the NFL, but listen, if I wouldn't have made money, I would have been depressed today because the fucking Ravens are getting on my nerves, but I made a lot of money this weekend betting. I'm on the roll right now. I'm not lying. I'm not lying. I'm on the roll on FanDuel, but hey, I'm wondering how you're feeling.
Yeah. You know, hey, kissing your sister ain't illegal, but it doesn't feel great either. And that's what happens with a tie. And we're going to need to expand on it too, because why in the ever-living hell is the NFL the one league that there ends in a tie? It doesn't happen in baseball. It doesn't happen in college football. It doesn't happen in any sport besides the NFL. Why is that a thing? How is that a thing? That Packers-Cowboys game was something. I mean, we're going to get into it, but that was bad. I have thoughts, per usual. I have thoughts, but yeah, not great ending on a tie. And after watching that game, besides the offense, which you expected them to beat down that terrible Cowboys defense, just like Russell Wilson did, just like everyone else has, you expect that. So they did that. So the way the rest of the game went, it felt like a loss. It wasn't a loss, so great, but it felt like a loss. And there was a lot more bad than there was good in that game, to put it lightly. And it wasn't even close.
And we're going to jump into it, but I told y'all earlier in the year, Micah Parsons in big games, he goes missing. And I know people going to want to say, oh, he got all these rushes. He fucking stunk that game. But we'll get into it. I'm going to wait because I want to unload on this fraud. He's a fraud. So I want to unload on it.
It's fair because that whole fourth quarter, I'm asking, why the fuck has Micah Parsons not got a sack? Why the fuck has nobody got a sack? You gave up all that for Parsons for him to be in the quarterback's lap throughout that game, but especially in the clutch. And I know he got Dak brought down and that he saved 6. He did save 6 at the end there, but that was a little bit too little too late at that point.
He's the highest paid non-quarterback in the NFL. Please tell me if he looked better than Max Crosby, Myles Garrett, or other big-time defensive players. I want people to tell me, is he worth being the highest non-paid quarterback? No, but we'll get into it.
We'll get into it. But you know what? Today, first things first. Today is the day, and I'm going to say it gracefully. Today is the day we beat the stopwatch, and we get the top 10 in 10 wrapped up in 10 minutes. So, folks, the headlines y'all love from the weekend that y'all were talking about, that were trending, that got y'all worked up, fired up like I currently am, and that Iman's going to be with the Ravens. That is what we're going through. We're going to do it in 10 minutes, starting right. Wait. Wow, that's anticlimactic. Starting right now. Number 1, the Green Bay Packers and Dallas Cowboys tie 40-40 for the second highest scoring tie ever. Dak and Jordan Love absolutely balled out. 3 tugs apiece, 300 plus apiece, no interceptions. We already said it. Why the hell is the NFL the only sport where it ends on a tie? That is absolutely ridiculous. That has to change. Look, we know we're going to talk about Parsons, but he had 10 pressures. He had a 92 PFF grade. One of the highest of the week, but that secondary, man, I've seen better secondary play out of high school football team than Nate Hobbs on the perimeter. Might have been the single worst thing my eyeballs have ever seen on a screen. So Packers had another block kicked, and sure be it, those 2 points that got scored on that block kick end up kind of being game-changing points on the board that should they not have been there, that's a different result. Anyways, what do you got next for number 2 now?
Number 2, it's time to hit the panic button here in Baltimore. Listen, Kansas City owns us, so us losing to them is not a big deal. But now we are starting to lose athlete after athlete after athlete. And me being a runner myself, losing Lamar Jackson with a hamstring is understanding that he's not going to be 100% for the rest of this year. That's such a nagging injury. But once again, losing 37-20 to Kansas City. Our defense is bad. Our offense is starting to get bad. And granted, I believe in Cooper Rush as a backup. He won a lot of games in Dallas, but he's not going to do enough to be able to score 40 a game. So time to hit the panic button in Baltimore. It looks like we'll have a top 10 pick this year.
Oh, yeah. No one expected that. All right, number 3, the Steelers claim the first ever dub in Dublin behind Kenneth Gainwell and DK Metcalf kind of shitting all over the Vikings defense. And, Carson Wentz, he returned to being about the most entertaining quarterback for fans to watch, unless you are a Vikings fan. Then it is not quite the same type of entertainment, that's for sure. Rodgers is playing very good football. You would never know he's coming off 2 of the most just unfortunate seasons of his career right now. So Steelers kind of got a good identity rolling on offense. Their Steelers defense back to being Steelers defense of revered and feared of the Mike Tomlin era. So Steelers cooking. They're 3-1. They're top of the AFC North pretty comfortably right now. Iman, what's number 4?
Number 4 is looking like there's a new era in NY. In New York, it's Jaxon Dart time. He has energized the New York Giants with a win over the undefeated Chargers this weekend. He didn't have this out of this world passing, but you got to understand he was efficient. 13 for 20, 111 yards, touchdown. He was super athletic, running the ball 10 for 54 yards, but just his energy, his swag, his leadership, not only with Cam Scatterbull adding another solid game. He had 25 carries for 79 yards. And listen, that D-line is starting to bite now. We're starting to see that D-line do what we thought they were going to do. But guess what? I just think they needed another dynamite on the other side to give them that energy. And I'm telling you right now, Jay-Z, all them New York people, 50, y'all happy now because y'all got Jaxon Dart. He's the new era.
Yeah, they got him, but hey, what did it cost? It cost Malik Neighbors. Still look good, though. Still probably going to be good without him, but it's, just an unfortunate injury. That stadium claims kneecaps. Anyways, number 5, moving over to college football now. Virginia takes out number 8 Florida State in what was the college football upset of the weekend. FSU, man, what a game on Friday. Hey, college football got to put more games on a Friday. It is an open calendar day for sports. Get more of these type of games on a Friday, folks. FSU literally bobbled away the game, a 9-yard bobble in the end zone that just barely missed being a catch.
Crazy.
And I feel so bad for that receiver. So that receiver who bobbled that catch that ended up being a drop and ended up ultimately costing Florida State the game, he was the same receiver who then on the very final play didn't come up with the touchdown and just was lost in the horde of fans storming the field. That same guy is the one who disappeared in the sea. The scene out of Lion King where there's the stampede comes and overtakes Simba laying down there, that scene. So that poor guy, got to feel for him a little bit, but Virginia's offense, man, continues to be the real deal. They slide up to number 24 now. That offense is really good. That defense is kind of middle of the pack, but Virginia, well-earned spot into the top 25 rankings now. But what do you got next for us?
All right, next up for us is Kalen DeBoer owns Kirby Smart. What's going on down there in Athens? He cannot get a win over Alabama with a Kalen DeBoer team to save his life. So Alabama defeated Georgia this weekend in an SEC impactful game, 24-21 in a close one. Now, I do say this, Ty Simpson is starting to look like a legit quarterback now. I don't know if that's just Kalen DeBoer's offense and Ryan Wims on the outside, but Ty Simpson had a great game, 24 for 38, 276 yards against a Georgia defense that every year puts 5 to 6 guys in the NFL, first, second rounders. So when you have a good game against Georgia's defense, that's letting me know that you are a legit football player. I think Kirby Smart got a really fine, better quarterbacks. Over the years, he's just been having a guy, and you let Carson Beck go down to Miami, he's winning. I just don't think Gunnar Stockton is going to be a national championship quarterback. I just think Kirby Smart has to hit the road and get him a nice quarterback because, listen, Ty Simpson might have saved Kalen DeBoer's job. Yeah. I'm just being honest because I think he's going to keep rolling as the season goes. And he's going to be the reason they want to bring Kalen DeBoer back.
Yeah, Simpsons look good. All right, speaking of quarterback play and not so good coaching, Penn State they remain complete frauds in the biggest game under the brightest lights, losing to number 6 Oregon in the Big Ten championship rematch, which bumps James Franklin down to an outstanding 2-21 record versus top 6 teams. That is the second worst mark in FBS history. And look, speaking of quarterbacks, I'm going to say it. It's time to have the conversation about Drew Allar. It's not that he's bad, but he's essentially just the James Franklin of quarterbacks. He struggles mightily. He plays his worst football in the biggest games. He doesn't win them. And again, he's going to give a future team some tools to work with. But Penn State's pass offense has been inept this season. Drew Allar is not elevating that offense. He's certainly not doing anything special, and he's not winning in the biggest moments. At this point, if I had to slap a what round is Drew Allar getting drafted in, a lot of people came into this year thinking first round, and I'm telling you, that's a third round quarterback at best from what his production has been when he shows up, when he doesn't, and how his lack of elevating that offense. So yeah, that's that Penn State team, man. I don't know. There's things there, but what's next?
Next up, let's say 2 words: Trinidad Chambliss, or Chambliss, however you pronounce his name, the new quarterback down there at Ole Miss, the D2 transfer. We're talking about a guy who was 0 stars coming out of high school. Ooh. He had to go to Division II, and then he transferred over to Ole Miss. Did he not light up? There is arguably the best defense in the nation, which everybody was saying, the best defense in the SEC with LSU. That kid almost had 400 total yards, 314 passing, 71 rushing. I mean, he was lights out when he needed first downs. He needed plays on third down. He was off the chain. 24-19. Another guy, I don't know what they're doing. When they put this Heisman Trophy and put this number 1 pick on you, it just starts to go downhill. Like, what is Nussmeier doing? I mean, is it the curse of saying you're the next Heisman or the number 1 pick? He's just, and LSU got the receivers now. That's receiver you. They have the players on the outside. It's just like he's not making the plays. So shout out to Lane Kiffin getting the win over his daughter's boyfriend, Mr. Weeks. He said, I'm looking for him at the end of the game. Let me see if we hit the over. So shout out to Ole Miss. Hey, I'm calling it right now. Ole Miss may win the SEC.
I know. Hey, yeah, Nussmeier, really bad as a starter versus SEC teams, and that's a big problem. All right, number 9, the Mets complete their historic collapse and officially missed the playoffs after they were 45-24 to start June. Literally had the best record in baseball from June 13th on. They finished with the 5th worst record in baseball. They have a $300+ million payroll. Juan Soto, he was as advertised. The pitching let him down in a huge way. And the Tigers' collapse would have been the worst if they didn't miss the playoffs. But, I mean, this was just a catastrophe of a finish for the Mets season this year. All right, what is number 10 to wrap us home in a couple seconds?
Number 10, last but not least, the number 1 WNBA team in the regular season has finally lost in the WNBA semifinals. The Lynx lost to the Mercury in a controversial Game 4 after a controversial Game 3 where the coach gets suspended, a foul on one of the best players in the WNBA. So it looks like the Lynx won't be in the title game this year, and playing Tuesday night will be the last game, Game 5 for the Fever and the Aces, who will make that last spot in the WNBA finals.
Boom. All right. 10 minutes, a little bit over 10 minutes. We, I think 10:28, 10:27. I think that's almost exactly what we did last week.
Yeah.
Hey, so guess what? Hey, consistency matters. We gotta chalk it up. Hey, what's the team that's in it now? The Phoenix Mercury, right? I mean,
yeah.
They what is it? They now beat both of the teams that were in the finals this playoffs. They've run through 2 very good teams. Is that what it is? I think both of the finals teams they've beat, which is a huge accomplishment. They kind of rebuilt and things are looking good. I think this is their first appearance since 2021, I believe.
Yeah, and Alyssa Thomas is balling.
She's balling.
Yeah,
she almost had a triple-double in that last game. I mean, she's leading that pack. I mean, that team's looking good. I don't know. Would you put them as your favorite to win? Perhaps?
No,
who you got?
I'm gonna go with the Aces because I think the Aces have better talent outside of the one superstar. The Mercury have a good overall team, but I mean, The Aces got 3. Well, they got to get past the Fever first without Caitlin Clark. But I think if the Aces make it, they'll win. Because to me, I don't think they should have got past the Link. I watched Game 3. It was a call that should have been made at the end on Collier, and I thought the Lynx were a better team. So yeah, I think the Mercury's probably going to get not swept, but they'll lose in the finals to the Aces, and Asia Wilson will win her 4th title or 3rd title. It'll be her 3rd title because they won back-to-back, and then this will be her 3rd title. So
she is a problem. So all right, that was a top 10 and 10. We're trying to change up a little bit of how we're running these Tuesday shows for y'all. So we're going to try to keep ripping through our top 10 and 10. I know the idea is that we're going to be a fan-first platform, and we are. So if you're listening to this, let's start getting comfortable with the idea that all fans, we're going to be moving to like a Fan Friday. We'll come up with a brand. Maybe we'll let the fans name what it's called. But we're going to start bringing on all of our fans to be on our Friday episode, and that'll kind of be the gist of what we do then is just have a couple fans come on, a couple of different segments and conversations and gamified things. And today we'll rip through the headlines, and then we're going to expand on a few more things. There's some things we're just leaving on the table. So we're gonna expand on about 5 things every episode after the top 10 and 10. We'll start adding interviews today on this Tuesday episode. So just for some foreshadowing of what you can look forward to with the Chalk Talk social platform, we're gonna be moving heavy on the fans on Friday, and we're gonna start making Fridays a fun thing. Less of the preview. We'll still do previews. We'll expand the news desk a little bit, but Fridays are gonna get a bit fun and rowdy with fans, and I think that's gonna be good going into the week and getting that fan energy going on. So that's what we can start looking forward to. So to continue on, let's expand on the first thing because we already talked about them. We're going to talk about them again. My Packers. I'll start by saying this about the Packers. I'll start with the good about the Packers. Jordan Love is a top 5 quarterback in football this season, and I will fight anybody on that. Through 4 weeks, Jordan Love, he ranks in the top 6 in PFF grade. Take that for what you will. Everyone gets graded the same, so take it for what you will. Pass yards, he is 5th. Touchdowns, he is 6th. Interceptions, he is 3rd. He has the 3rd fewest. His passer rating is 3rd in the NFL. His yards per attempt is 4th, so he ain't just doing no dink and dunk now. His completion percentage over expected is 5th. His passing EPA or expected points added is 3rd, and his EPA per dropback is 2nd. And if you just watch him play, he's slinging. He still has a couple Jordan Love moments. We saw it against the Browns, but he is looking like his best form of Jordan Love, and I know that Cowboys defense is dog shit. Every quarterback has ran through them. They can't stop a parked car to save their life. So, but we're talking about the Commanders defense. They're talking about the Lions defense. The Browns defense. He still wasn't terrible, but the whole offense struggled, whatever. He's having a really good season. But if we're talking about specifically the Packers and the Cowboys. So this is where it gets ugly. And before we get into Micah Parsons, I had things to get off my chest about Matt LaFleur. He had his tail so incredibly fucking tucked and yet again showed that when a team comes in and smacks that Packers offense in the mouth a little bit, or the Packers in general get smacked in the mouth, he is more useless than a shit-flavored lollipop more times than not. It goes stale. It goes bad. They start getting a lot of 3-and-outs. They can't rebound. They can't get rhythm. He let the clock tick down all of overtime against the Cowboys when they were just striding. They were coming off, I think, 3 or 4 scores straight. And then coming to overtime, and it's tick, 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 tick. No timeouts. They're just running. And obviously that last second where Jordan, they call play, and then it ticks down to 1 second. It could have lost them the damn game. The clock management was dog shit. The play calling was just, again, tail tucked as it gets. And then he has the balls in the presser to say that, we're confused about why there was no sense of urgency. Coach, you're the fucking coach. You're supposed to make sure that's a non-issue. This is year 7, and the press conference is the same thing after the same thing in these types of games. Like, we'll have to go watch film. I don't know how we got to this point. It's like, maybe we should ask the head coach of this team, huh? Maybe we should ask that guy, because this Matt LaFleur cat's got no fucking answers for 7 straight years on these things that a head coach should have some answers for. So that's getting really annoying. We're past the point of how annoying that is. And like I said, we're 7 seasons into this. And I'm going to say my thing about Parsons first, and then you can rip into him and everything else.
Listen, I'm letting you go. This is your team. Hey, listen, I see you got a little indirect anger, though, and I'm going to come back on that. I just don't think it's the offense or Matt LaFleur's. I don't think it's their fault. Now, granted, yes, that at the end of the game, the mismanagement of the time, like I didn't think Jordan Love got that ball off in time for the 1
That's
second. And
crazy.
but Park, I've played that position on the field. That has to be his thing. He has to run that show. He makes enough money. He's been around long enough to say, hey, Matt, you just send in the play. Everything else I got from here, as far as timeouts, whatever. But I'm gonna let you go because I got a different view on it because I thought the offense, Jordan Love and Matt LaFleur did more than enough
Yeah.
to beat anybody in the NFL. Let's be clear. That offensive output with those receivers, the way Jordan Love has been playing, Jacobs, I mean Dobbs to Golden, that's enough to beat any defense in the NFL. So I don't think that's where your problem lays. But let's go. Come on, give me what you got on Parsons.
I mean, yeah, and it was fine, but again, when a game situationally things are going the way they're going, because 40 points, regardless if there's some bumps in the road, should win you. But hey, when it's not winning you the game, and there's obviously, I'm pretty sure every lineman on the Packers O line, besides Elton Jenkins, allowed 0 pressures. The rest of them all allowed 4+ pressures. And then the play calling got ultra conservative, and people can say what they will. But look, again, it's just one of those things. And we've seen this every year with LaFleur. He struggles once he gets smacked in the mouth. The offense struggles once he gets smacked in the mouth, and something tends to go wrong. This time it was the clock management was terrible. The play calling didn't match the situation, especially considering how the Packers were moving the ball, just for how that game kind of went away from, the way that overtime went was so confusingly stupid from a play caller and time management perspective. But hey, I'm Parsons. The good. 10 pressures is amazing. He had, I think, the highest PFF grade on defense this week. I think it was like 92. The bad. He did not show the fuck up until, in terms of getting a sack and creating a negative play. Packers didn't have interceptions. They didn't have any sacks. They could not get the DAC. So by the time, yes, Parsons saved that touchdown towards the end, sure. But that wasn't the end of the game. Where's the sacks in the first quarter, the second quarter, the third quarter? And I watched a ton of people posting clips on Parsons, and I'm not going to sit here and just blame refs, but he was getting hooked like a motherfucker all game. And, a lot of clips of him getting hooked. The holding stuff's ticky-tacky. But I think the bigger problem for Parsons and the rest of that defense is Nate Hobbs on the perimeter, like I said, might have been the single worst things I've ever seen with my eyes. George Pickens won every single route. No matter who was lined up across Nate Hobbs on the perimeter, they won. There was a play, I think it was Turpin. Dak threw it the other way, but Turpin was streaking down the field wide open. Dak just didn't see him. That was a gimme touchdown. Nate Hobbs was horrible. He was the liability of the season so far in that effort. But like you said, Jordan Love, he was incredible. Romeo Dobbs and that freaking bucket that he's got on his head. He had his career game with 3 touchdowns. Josh Jacobs and Emmanuel Wilson in the backfield were running like a
Tucker Kraft is a tight end.
Still
man. He's
a
the
dog.
tight end. Yeah, he's the tight end. And the only thing that I say, Austin, is I understand Matt LaFleur that he's not so aggressive when he has leads and he's playing well because like I know, I can't be too aggressive with Jordan Love because he's going to do – if he hasn't done anything dumb while we got the lead, I'm just going to get a little bit less aggressive because if I get too aggressive, Jordan Love is going to throw the ball away. I know if I get too aggressive with my play calling and just give him the gunslinger mentality, and I get it, he's playing well, but he's going to give the other side the ball. Listen, all I'm just telling you is I've told people I've watched every game for the Dallas Cowboys for the past 4 years. It was funny because I watched it this week just because I know you're a Packers fan, but I don't actually watch them anymore. But Micah Parsons, first 4 years, I've seen every game, every second, every minute. He only plays against weak teams, trash-ass tackles, and weak ass offenses. The moment you get a team that can run the football, they got a subpar tackle. He in 4 years he hasn't developed another move but to try to dip his shoulder and go around the edge. You're not going to speed rush and beat everybody anymore. And granted, they're not going to call that hook because he's going underneath their arm. He's doing the same fucking play that he did last year, the year before, his first year. I'm just saying, when you look at other people's defenses, when you look at the Max Crosby's, you look at the Nick Bosa's, you look at the Myles Garrett, you don't have to wait to the fourth quarter to hear their name. Ever. And we're talking run game. Max Crosby looked like the best player on defense this Sunday. I mean, I don't know if you see that game.
Oh, yeah, he looked nice.
Man, he was bought. And to me, I thought everybody thought that was the missing piece for y'all defense, that we knew the DBs were going to be bad. You said it coming in this year. Your DBs are going to be terrible. You didn't have any faith in them. But we thought Micah Parsons would slow things down. He's terrible. And y'all can't.
Terrible's a stretch. Come on, terrible's a stretch.
So who y'all think y'all gonna be playing in the NFC championship game or even in the second round? Trust me, you're gonna have and listen, Penei Sewell owns him.
Oh, he did good against I guess that was he? I can't remember.
No, he didn't play that much.
Yeah,
he didn't play good. But listen, y'all are gonna have a good line, a good run. And this is my only thing. The Cowboys, to me, just didn't have a great game plan toward. They didn't even run towards him enough in my eyes. And I know his weaknesses. You got to run at him and run towards him, and that's going to slow him down even more. I'm just saying, Austin, I just don't see y'all winning the Super Bowl with that defense. And once again, y'all paid that man a lot of money to be a game changer.
Yeah.
Again, not wait to the last minute to stop him from getting sick so we get a tie. No, dominate this game so we're up by 2 touchdowns in the fourth quarter, and we're chilling, playing Malik Willis and a bunch of bench guys that want to get in the box scores. But listen, I told you, you should have listened because I've seen him play every game before. He's gonna go in his shell in big games, and I bet you y'all next big game when y'all play Detroit again, he's not going to be anywhere to be found because they're heating up too. So understand that we thought that their coordinators losing them was going to hurt them. Y'all defense got to either make a change soon with a D coordinator. I mean, I don't know. Something has to happen. And granted, I just don't think Dallas offense without CeeDee Lamb should have scored 40 points.
Yeah, that was pretty fucked. That was pathetic. There's no way around it. It was bad. It was all around
George
bad.
Pickens is not a superstar. He's not. I don't care what he makes. 1 or 2 great catches of the game. He caught like a stop one play, spent out. I said, God, just wrap him up. And then I said, y'all DBs, oh my God.
It was bad. Nate Hobbs got murdered. We watched murder on TV, and it was anytime Nate Hobbs was on TV. Like the tight end, I remember who they had that late touchdown to. That was Nate Hobbs in coverage. That George Pickens double coverage catch, that was because of Nate Hobbs. There were so many, and he had one of the worst PFF grades. But here's, like you said, Parsons is paid to be a difference maker. We got him to be a difference maker, not just pressures, but sacks, no matter the situation. But you do got to walk a fine line, is because, again, he's one of those guys, one of the few guys when he's on the field, there's a specific game plan for him, and it impacts the rest you can do on offense. It takes away things. It makes you have to do extra focus, extra blockers on one guy, and generally speaking, that frees up other dudes. We've kind of seen the effect this year with Rashawn Gary now leading the Packers in sacks, because there's no more chipping Gary. There's no more doubling Gary. All the attention's over to Parsons, so now Gary is flying free. Lucas Van Ness is getting more looks, so there is that impact that's still it's like Christian Watson on offense. Christian Watson might finish the game with 2 catches for 60 yards and a touch, but what he does in terms of taking the top off, defenses have to respect that. You have to apply a safety to Christian Watson every time he's on the field, and that opens up everything underneath then. So he might not show up on the stat sheet, but his impact was felt in a way. But yes, Micah Parsons being the player he is, the amount he's paid, the amount they gave up for him, need a bit more than that. And it's funny, Parsons right now, has the second highest pressure percentage of all edge rushers this season with 50% or 50 or more snaps. Second highest. Rashawn Gary, on the flip side, has more sacks than him, but has the third slowest time to pressure of all edges this season. And this is one I found really crazy, is that Lucas Van Ness has a faster time to pressure for the Packers than Parsons and Gary, but is like the least seen on the stat sheet. It's a very interesting thing in terms of when you consider those stats from those three players, the Packers' primary three edge rushers. Yeah, I'm comfortable moving on. I've said my piece. That was pathetic. That should never have. That was pathetic. Besides Jordan Love, thank God for Romeo Doubs being just so sticky. His fans are so sticky, man. I've loved Doubs. He doesn't not get enough respect for how consistent he is, and he's a red zone weapon. He's one of those guys. You wouldn't think of Romeo Doubs as like he's a go get a bucket guy in the red zone, but my gosh, I mean, besides maybe Tucker Kraft, Romeo Doubs is just my like. He's like James Jones reincarnate. Yeah. James Jones reincarnate. Once James Jones started getting good and you can just throw him the ball in the red zone, he's coming down with that thing. But yeah, that's that. How about let's flip the coin now and let's see what you got to say about your Ravens and the Chiefs. Let's expand on that one a little bit. A lot of things going wrong for the Ravens, but you tell me what are your thoughts coming out of that Ravens Chiefs game?
So I'm not gonna go too hyperbolic because I understand this is the NFL. Spags and Andy Reid just somehow just either is in John Harbaugh's and Zach Orr's office when they're making a game plan because it's like they're just 10 steps ahead of us all the time. But I'm telling you, something has to be given on this defense, man. Listen, again, I know we're playing Patrick Mahomes, but nobody can name me a Pro Bowler now, unless Travis Kelce name-wise is a Pro Bowler, but play right now is not Pro Bowl potential, not all pro. Xavier Worthy just come. He's not nice. A number one, but he's not a number one.
No,
he's not a number one. I just don't think he should have been doing what he's doing. Lamar. Enough with this turning over the football. Now I'm over this. You can't win games fumbling, can't win games throwing picks. I think he's trying to do too much now. He's not playing with no type of timing. He's holding the ball too long. And granted, we're missing a couple guys on the D line. We're missing a few people on the defense hurt, but this is the NFL. Our backups are in. They get paid to play. Our coaches get paid to coach. So I listen. It's looking scary because, like I said, I know what hamstring injuries are. He's a running guy. His most important just skill is being able to run, be elusive, slip and slide, and having a hamstring issue is gonna really, really, really push him to either not be himself when he come back or just push him too far further down the end of the year. And like I said, I mean, Carrot Top is not bad. Like he played in Dallas. I remember one year he won like 5 games for us when that went out. He's pretty efficient, but he doesn't have the weapons that he had in Dallas. I mean, once again, it's another offense that I don't think they have a number one receiver. I mean, Zay Flowers not a number one receiver. Mark Andrews is not. I mean, he's getting old. Let's just
same thing as Kelce. Same thing as Kelce. He's a Pro Bowler by name. That's it right now.
He's getting old. So I hate to say it, man, and I'm mad because they were my Super Bowl pick. It's looking like we won't make the playoffs, Austin.
Yeah,
I mean, our schedule doesn't get better.
No. Look. There was a lot of questions coming into this game about Harbaugh, about this team, about this defense, and they left that game with about 10 times more questions. The Derrick Henry was getting pulled out on third and short situation on obvious rundowns when that game's not over, and Derrick Henry's off the field. He finished with 8 catches or eight rushes for 42 yards. I mean, that's not bad. Hey, bright side, Derrick Henry held onto the football in his 8 touches. Oh, he got 10 touches. He had two catches, so 10 touches, didn't drop the ball, but the fact that Derrick Henry is getting overshadowed by Justice Hill was crazy. And the thing about, I mean, we knew this defense was going to be a liability. Patrick Mahomes absolutely shredded the Ravens defense on the quick stuff. He went on the quick stuff. He went 17 for 22 with 142 yards and 3 touchdowns when he threw the ball in under 2.5 seconds. That's assault, brother. That's assault. This defense and Chris Orr got to figure their shit out. And podcast boy on the perimeter got to figure his shit out. It is Kyle Hamilton and Kyle Hamilton only who is relevant for this Ravens defense, it feels like. And that is a superstar. The Ravens are wasting Kyle Hamilton's prime, it feels like.
For sure. I mean, and we got old super fast, though. It's like we got old real fast. Or has to get fired, though. I'm just being totally honest.
Okay.
He had a bad start to last year, and they kind of started playing better towards the end of the year. But what we did against Buffalo and them, listen, he has to get fired. I'm being honest. I think it's time for the Baltimore Ravens to move on from John Harbaugh too. Now
there it is. I've been waiting for it. I've been waiting for you to say it. I just want to hear it.
So Austin, the NFL now is moving to young, innovative offenses. Everybody knows what Lamar's doing now. We have to get somebody in with better concepts that can make the game easier for him. John Harbaugh is a special teams guy, so he's not really knowledgeable about what we should be doing on offense. And to me, I just think our offensive scheme is bland. Run downhill, Derrick Henry. Hey, every now and then Lamar pull it. Every now and then throw a little flares, a little slip screens, and a crossing route. And every now and then throw Bateman on a go route, a money route. Like, I just think we need one of these young, innovative coaches. Look at what they're doing in Jacksonville with a young, innovative offensive coach. If they can do that with Sunshine, I just think it's time. And now you're asking yourself who's out here to go get a bunch. I mean, it's a lot of guys that's looking good. I just think it's time. I just think it's time. We need another voice. We need some more offense. It's time. I mean, it's just time. And we can't keep saying he's a Super Bowl champion. Yeah, fucking 30, 40, 50 years ago. Nobody cares anymore. We forgot that we even won with Joe Flacco.
Yeah.
So, I think it's time.
And no, I mean, and the fact that the offense is run stale, they don't have, I mean, Zay Flowers is really nice, but he's, you wish you had Zay Flowers with DeAndre Hopkins in his prime rather than like DeAndre Hopkins at the end of his career. Because then now we're talking that's maybe the best 1-2 punch in football. But DeAndre has passed his prime. And look, you get something better going on offense there. Lamar Jackson's still leading the league in tugs. He's got 10 tugs, only 1 pick, 869 yards. He's completing 72% of his passes for 9 yards a clip, 130.5 QBR. And that's all, or not QBR, 130.5 quarterback rating. Or pass rating, is absurd. He's having great numbers yet again, MVP numbers in a system and team that's ultimately failing him. And everyone thought, I think, early on, because it looked good right away, it's like, oh, this is the Ravens team. Like, they got the boys on offense. Like, things seem good. Isaiah Likely's going to come back and add a big oomph. Like, the offensive line's got some nice guys on there. And then everything's dismantling. The injuries are racking up. But, like, Lamar Jackson's play, besides like, the fumbles, is like he's playing at an MVP level right now. Let's be.
It's empty calories though. Austin.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. It's kind of empty.
Dak Prescott used to do that for years when we were losing games. Listen, all them stats don't mean anything if we can't win against who we need to win against. The Chiefs and the Bills. I don't give a fuck what Lamar does for game 1 to 17. When the playoffs come, can you beat the Chiefs or can you beat the Bills? And right now, we haven't been doing that. So it's time for a change because we need to bring somebody in that can beat the Bills or the Chiefs. They're not going anywhere.
Yeah. I mean, why don't we flip the script then to another tenured coach who is on a different trajectory all of a sudden, who was kind of on the Harbaugh trajectory. So Mike Tomlin and the Steelers, like we said earlier, Steelers get the first ever dub in Dublin. And the headline here is the Steelers are all of a sudden the clear favorite to win the AFC North. And I don't think it's even a debate with how things are looking right now. I mean, the defense had the best game of the season this year, and albeit it was against Carson Wentz, and that helped make it a reality. But they finished that game with 7 sacks, 2 picks, 2 forced fumbles, and now in the last 2 games, listen to this, last 2 games, that Steelers defense, they are back on track, man. 11 sacks, 49 pressures, 7 takeaways. This is that revered Steelers defense. And once again, just like the offense has kind of like an identity, and they're leaning into what Arthur Smith is trying to do, right? So you see them using a lot of 6 offensive lineman sets, and then they add Darnell Washington at the edge of the line to have essentially 7 offensive linemen. Then they're running this outside zone, and they're dominating with it. They're leaning into their 2 tight end systems, that the 2 tight end system that freaking Arthur Smith wants to run. They're, I think, the first or second most targets have gone to a tight end in that offense in the NFL. They're leaning into it. It's working. Rodgers has rhythm. He's playing really good ball. He's got this team at 3-1. And listen to this. And if I told you this at the start of the season, you'd probably be like, that seems a little high. But right now, the Steelers' offense in EPA per play, expected points added per play, is 11th. Their success rate on offense is 9th. They're 12th in rushing EPA. Their rushing success rate right now is 4th in the NFL. Like, they're doing a lot of good things, and they're leaning in and finding an identity on offense that's been missing while that defense is thriving. There's been no identity on offense, and it feels like with Rodgers, it's working. DK's come in, and yes, he's got some drops, but it's working. And you tell me, I mean, is there a better team in the North?
Not at all. I mean, you got to think about it. I'm gonna tell you right now. Once that defense start clicking a little bit more, it's gonna be even scarier, because we all know Aaron Rodgers still needs a few games to kind of get himself together. But right now, who's more efficient than him? I mean, I'm looking at him play, and it's like he's not taking a lot of chances like in his younger years. But when it comes to efficiency, just making the right throws, not doing too much, not doing nothing less than he's supposed to be doing. I mean, Aaron Rodgers, and I mean, he's still got some arm in him. I'm gonna tell you right now, he's still top 5 arm in the NFL. That team is gonna be scary. Now, I do still think they need one more playmaker on offense, because yes, DK Metcalf can be that guy. I mean, he can either take 1 or 2 80, but then he does go missing every now and then, because like you say, just hands is not. And it's like how he positioned his hands is all weird too. I'm like, these big guys don't know how to position their hands when they're catching the football. But I mean, that team is only going to get scary, because if the defense can play at that level against anybody,
can win a lot of games.
Because Aaron Rodgers is not going to make mistakes to lose you. This is who he is. He's been this way his whole career. He's going to do what's needed, and he's not going to make a lot of mistakes. I think he learned that from Brett Favre too. I think him sitting behind Brett, just watching Brett lose a lot of games, just being a fucking asshole sometimes, it did a lot for his career. But I mean, listen, I can't say this out loud because my guy Butter will kill me, because I mean he hates the Steelers more than me, because he's a long-time Baltimore Ravens fan. It's not a rival in my eye, because you know Mike Tomlin's from Virginia, so he was a William and Mary guy. He's from Newport News, so he's a Virginia guy. So I'm always rooting for him to do well, and he's finally starting to. He's going to be But now I do say this. They don't get past the first round. Guess who else is going to be on the fucking chopping block? Him.
Yeah.
Enough of this. He hasn't had a losing season in quadruple 30 years. If you don't get out of the first round this year with a Hall of Fame quarterback and a Hall of Fame legendary defense, guess what? Your ass is going to be on the chopping block too. So.
Yeah, it's looked good. Rodgers tied 3rd in the NFL with 8 touchdowns right now, 68.5 completion percentage, 102.6 passer rating. I mean, and the offense, like I said, it's just clicking right. Kenneth Gainwell just busted up that Vikings defense. That's a good Vikings defense. Let's be clear. It's a good Vikings defense. They just busted them up, tossed them around. Yes, they got the ball back a few times thanks to Carson Wentz, and that helps. But
They need Jaylen Warren back too, though. So they need what they need.
Yeah,
Warren
that was without Warren. That's crazy.
Yeah, So
And
they're going to need him back in the long run, though.
for me, chalk this up to another dark horse team to go get DJ Moore. I can picture it. I can see him in the colors. I can see it working. I know they got Kelvin Austin, but DJ Moore is definitely being criminally underused in Chicago right now. So that's a whole nother weird situation. But I mean, Chicago's winning without DJ Moore. Like, I feel like there's so much more they could be doing if they just gave the guy that they traded a lot they robbed the Panthers, but they're not using DJ Moore. I feel like something's happening there. Something's going on there.
That's pretty smart.
I could see the Steelers being a dark horse team. If they're in that playoff point, which it seems like they're going to be, I think I agree they could use another weapon. I just don't think Kelvin Austin and Roman Wilson and Jonnu Smith and Pat Freiermuth, as nice as it's working, again, can that work against a top 3 defense in the NFL in the biggest game? Right? You better hope your defense shows the fuck up. Anyways, let's stay on the topic of coaches, I guess, right now. I mean, we'll start with this one. Penn State remains fraudulent as it gets in the biggest game. And here's the headline for me at this point. The headline for me with Penn State is it's time to move on from James Franklin. It's time to move on from James Franklin, and Drew Allar might be very overrated. And with the James Franklin thing, it's what you just said about Tomlin. Cool. Go out and beat the shitty teams. What else have you done? So this is fun. This is where James Franklin, crawl out of this one, buddy. I dare you. James Franklin is 1-15 versus top 5 teams. He is 4-21 versus top 10 teams. He is 15-30 versus top 25 teams. And hey, big games against, his version of the Ravens his version of the Chiefs and the Bills is Michigan, Ohio State. He's 4-17. Against everyone else, he's 122, 100 wins, 22 losses versus everyone else. So he kicks the shit out of the people you should be kicking the shit out of. But when you come down to brass tacks, this guy shits the bed against a good team. Since 2016, his only wins against top 10 teams are against Utah and Boise State. That's it. Since 2016.
And I can take my high school team and go beat fucking one of them. I'm just being honest.
Yeah.
So,
Joey, what do we got on James Franklin?
I just think it's fascinating, right? Because he's a guy that's like a program builder or a program winner. And he built the program wonderfully. He just can't win the big game. And there's these different tiers of programs, right? Like, I'm an Illinois fan, so I'm watching Bielema build something, literally resurrecting the dead to make a real program in Champaign.
Oh, yeah.
Penn State's a different echelon. They're supposed to be up there with the top of the Big Ten, of course, but you're supposed to be in the conversation with the Alabamas of the world, the Georgia of the world, the Oregon of the world, based on the history of that program. And so now you've gotten to a point where, and this is funny for it's almost like a spoiled fan. Like, they're really good, but is he that guy that can take him over? And I know I mentioned this off before air, but it's kind of like that Doug Collins, Phil Jackson with the Bulls, right? It's like Doug Collins built this great thing, but when it came time to win those 6 titles, that was Phil Jackson that was needed. And this is kind of that scenario of James Franklin has weathered a lot of storms, built a great program. Can he win that big game? Right now, it's a no. It's a big, big no.
Mm-hmm.
And they can't blame it on not having the players because, like you said, he's an awesome recruiter. I give him that. He's an awesome recruiter. He hits the trail. He gets the players in. But I also think he overhyped. I'm with Austin. Drew Aller is not that guy. I mean, that interception in OT was like, I've seen that play 1,001 times. I looked like what they were trying to do to Flood, and then the one guy that you have to read, you're not reading, and you throw it to him. But I'm with you. You just need that. Like when Tony Dungy left Tampa, John Gruden came in. All right, let me cook this. You made the groceries. We got all the ingredients we need. But I'm the better chef. I'm Chef Wolfgang Puck.
There we go.
In here. And I'm going to go chef this up. I think it's time too. And I told you, Austin, if they didn't run Katron Allen more than 22 times, Listen, did you see what he was doing though? Averaging 5 yards a
Yeah.
carry. They get in OT, and I'm like, run, Katron Allen. I just think it's criminal that he doesn't get more carries than Singleton. What number 10 does. I just think that's criminal, and it's not because he's a hometown guy. I coached against him, but it's just he's the better player.
And college
He's a
football
good-
is a weird beast where it's like you have to not only be a good on-field coach, but it's the recruiting game, right? And so that's different than NFL. You can be a great X's and O's guy, but you don't have to worry about players and winning living rooms and signing contracts. Like, you don't deal with that. So this is that scenario where you go, okay, it's almost like you need two coaches, right? A recruiter and an X's and O's guy. He's great recruiting. He can't, in that in-game piece, that's what's missing.
Yeah, and all the credit to James Franklin on he did revive that program. He did rebuild that culture, and that was he was high. That was the biggest thing he was high. That was step one in hiring James Franklin, and gosh darn it, he executed on that 100%. Now, let's be honest, he's overstayed his welcome, and that happens all the time. It's like it's for the exact reasons you guys just said. Like he can't get over the hump. He cannot beat a blue chip program. Congratulations, you've beat Utah and Boise State as top 10 teams since 2016. Like, this is it, it's a problem. You got to be honest with them. They're like, oh, well, who else are you going to go get? He's as good as anyone else. It's like
a lot of people.
Yeah.
Urban Myers.
See,
Jimbo Fisher. It's
there's
a lot of
there's
people out
options. There's options of proven winners. And I think, again, I'm not sold that he's got the quarterback. And I think it's been a problem. You cut the film. It's very mid. That passing offense is inept this season. But then when you get down to brass tacks, like I said earlier, Drew Allar's pretty much just been the James Franklin of quarterbacks, right? So when you get him he's played against top 6 teams. He's played against before this, I believe. It was before this game. So his first 5 games against top 6 teams, he is 0-5, 5 touchdowns, 4 interceptions, 49% completion percentage, and averaging 5.1 yards per attempt. Dump off
That's
Merchant.
Bad.
Yeah, I'm struggling to see.
Bad.
Yeah, I'm struggling to see any argument for this guy being drafted in the first 2 rounds based off how this season has gone and how he's looked in the brightest lights in the biggest games. There's a lot of tools there. There's a lot of good with Drew Allar, but that is not a first round pick. That is not a second round pick. That is a 3rd round. Let's hope we can develop him. If we got to plug him in those first 2 years, let's see how it goes. But that's like a guy that you're kind of hoping that you don't got to see on the field until year 3 at this point. Not a guy you want to see.
My bad, Austin. You better hope Mel Kiper and Shan them hear you because they think this guy is a top 10 guy. I think you need to scream that louder. I'm with you. He's terrible. And to hear those numbers in big games, 49%?
It's bad. And it got worse.
In big games?
And it just got worse. I mean,
shit.
It's kind of like Newsmeyer in LSU. He's playing his way out of any consideration that he came into the season with, right? I mean, and look what he did against Oregon. Like it didn't get better. He had a 56% completion percentage, 2 touchdowns, 1 pick, and his completion percentage this year is 62%.
That's bad.
He's criminally bad throwing the football this year. He has 6 touchdowns, 2 picks in 4 games. It's not been good for Drew Allar this year. He's got a 48.4 QBR. That is 88th in the nation. This is not a first-round pick.
And by the way,
this
that's
is not
$3 million quarterback, by the way.
What's that?
It's a $3 million NIL quarterback.
He's stealing money.
Insane. $3 million for 49% against big teams.
Stealing money. Hey, good for him.
Oh my God. I need to go have a son. Yeah, if I can have a fucking below average and still make $3 million, I'm gonna go have me a son and just put the football in his hand. Now I do say this. All that money they're paying these players, do you think they can afford to just fire James Franklin? Because I want to say he has a lot of years left on his contract. And when you're paying a fucking bullshit quarterback $3 million, his buyout is probably 40, 50 million.
10-year contract signed in November 2021. Oh, Jesus.
God damn, they stuck with him.
3rd highest paid coach in Big Ten as of 2025 right now. And yeah. Oh, what is this is actually now it has come up. There's articles on what is his buyout. I think a lot of people are talking about it at this point. Man, Yeah, this is not good. Let me see what his buyout is if I can find it really quick. In 2020, so entering this season, his estimated buyout was $54 million, ninth largest buyout in the country right now. It would be extremely costly for Penn State to buy out his contract, to say the least. And given the track record, it just seems it seems like it's not going to happen. As much as it needs to happen, it's not going to happen.
Because then you got to turn around and pay another big name 60, 70 million. So it's like, yeah. Drew Aller making $3 million. Joey, you saying that to me is blowing my mind. There's no way that guy should be. He makes $3 million is insane. He's bad.
Yeah.
Oh, I can't believe that.
Highway robbery, man.
Not good. All right, that's the wrap on college football. Let's get one into baseball. Let's elaborate on one baseball because, like we kind of touched on we talked about it earlier last week with the Tigers' historic collapse. The Mets just outdid them a little bit because at least the Tigers they're playing baseball in October. Meanwhile, the headline with the New York Mets: time to turn Citi Field into a Halloween spirit for the season because their season is over. October is done for the Mets. $341 million payroll, and all they got out of that is regular season baseball. Just absurd. The collapse, we talked about it. They went from the best ranked team, the best record in baseball in the middle of June, and then from June 13th on had the fifth worst record in baseball. Look, their bats did their job. They finished in the top half or top 10 in just about every major hitting category this season. Juan Soto, say what you will about him, he was as advertised. He had a very good season. Pete Alonso was ripping dingers. It was their pitching staff was truly garbage, and definitely, at least from my standpoint, the biggest reason for this collapse. Because look, at the end of the day, you can blame the managers, but they just put the guys out there. They're not the ones out there executing and actually throwing the pitches. I think there's definitely some blame to go around upstairs in the front office, but only one team has a better record than the Mets and a worse team ERA. That's the Blue Jays. Hey, they're dancing though. They actually had the third fewest quality starts in baseball as well. The Mets, only 39, third fewest. That's pretty damn bad. They finished. This one's a crazy stat for the Mets. For you, I hope Mets fans, just turn your systems off now. The Mets finished 0-67 this season when trailing after 8 innings. They were the only team to not have a single win in that scenario. Bad. This team, bad. And I feel like Mets fans went through it a lot with this team, and now I think maybe we need to investigate that one really good season they just had, perhaps. What? Like I said, if you look upstairs a little bit, David Stearns, this is a former Brewer guy, right? He got a lot of praise in Milwaukee for what he was doing there until the Josh Hader trade. Then, like, a lot of questions started popping up. You look at what David Stearns did for that team. He made 3 terrible roster moves for this team with Frankie Montas at pitcher. No one wanted it. That was from dotted line, terrible. Ryan Helsley, terrible. Cedric Mullins, terrible. It's like the scouting went out the window, is non-existent. No one ever wanted any of these guys necessarily. They all worked out horribly. Like Cedric Mullins aged 100 years this season as soon as he became a Met. And I don't know if you guys got any extra context around this, but this one for me, I think, hey, to the Mets, Halloween City, baby. It's Halloween spirit.
Yeah, it's insane. I mean, I love the broadcast, the Keith Hernandez broadcast. They closed with the Mets agonizing 3.5-month slow motion collapse is complete. That's how they close the season. That's the team broadcast. It's brutal. And it's one of those collapses where the Tigers are off the hook now. They had a 15.5 game lead they blew, and they squeaked into the playoffs, so it's all forgotten. This Mets one, they're going to remember forever. Like in Chicago, granted, I was not born when the 1969 Cubs blew their lead, but the Cubs won the World Series. That team is still talked about with everything they did on how they blew a 9-game lead in September. They went only losing 17 of 25 of their final games to lose to the Mets, which is ironic, in the division at that time. And it's never been forgotten. It is synonymous with this team, even when the good things happen. So for the Mets to be at this place where you blow that lead, you can't get that stink off you. Like they're screwed for eternity now with that on them, even if they win again. This is one of those holy crap moments of how is it even possible? Like it's almost impossible what they did. It's just remarkable.
Nah, I think it's possible sometimes when you're in locker rooms and people just want to go on vacation early. Their girlfriend's been saying, hey, we're not winning the World Series. Y'all need to just end this season early. But now I do say, too, as a player, that when you get in the funk and you start pressing, I can't say I've had I've strung some bad games behind because I just got in the funk. And then when I started to press and just try to make more plays and more plays, I mean, I went further downhill. So they needed like some meditation, somebody to come through and kind of just erase what they were doing. Because I'm telling you, it got worse and worse. And you're looking like, are they going to snap out of it? Fuck no. So Cancun on me, Cancun on 3. I guess that's what it was, because that's bad. But the Mets never been good, though, Austin. Let's be clear. They're irrelevant in Major League Baseball.
I mean, yeah. When was their last World Series championship? Was it the 80s, perhaps? I mean, they had
the white Gooden in them. Yeah, like come on, nobody.
They were. When did they make the last? When was their last appearance? It was like 20. It was the mid 2000s. It was like 20. It was 2015. Okay, that was the year I'm thinking of. I think the last time they were kind of like. Let's go back. Let's go all the way back then and just investigate that. But you know what the funny part to me is like, look at the NL Central. Got two teams. The Reds and the Brewers combined adjusted payroll is less than what the Mets paid for their payroll this season, and both of those teams are in the playoffs. Gosh, hey, baseball, romantic sport. I love it.
Right.
It's just about putting the right pieces and having the right scouting, having the right coaches, because you can get all the talent in the world. Do you remember? I don't know if y'all remember this, when Miggy Cabrera went to the Detroit Tigers, and that's when they still had what's his name, Victor Martinez as the DH/catcher. He was really good. They had dogs everywhere on that team, and that was like the original Dodgers when the Detroit Tigers did that, when they got Miggy Cabrera and built that roster. It was like undoubtedly World Series. That's the team. They didn't win shit, nothing. And even the Dodgers struggled a bunch this season. Like they didn't look dominant by any stretch. You know, Brewers swept them with their little baby payroll. Sometimes, man.
That's why, I mean, I also think it just need people upstairs to kind of understand, hey, we just can't just go spend money on the highs. We got to put together a perfect team. We have to have all the pieces fit. So, but nobody cares about the Mets. I know we're talking about it, but nobody really cares. It's Yankees in New York.
Yeah.
It's your Brewers are killing it, man. So we want to see them keep going. Yep. But nobody gives a fuck about the Mets.
No, it was a fun doom scroll going through Mets Twitter. They were trending for a reason. That was an entertaining doom scroll. And you know, New York fans are extremely passionate about their sports now. And so we got some good takes. We probably should have pulled a few of those, but there were some good takes from Mets fans being pissed.
And by the way, they got some history with this too, of the 08 team. They lost on the last day of the year to miss the playoffs after they collapsed. It was the last day of Shea Stadium. And then 2007, a 17-game stretch in 12. They called it the 17-game stretch in 12 days meltdown, where they had a 7-game lead with 17 games to play. They went 5-12 and lost. And it was the inverse of what they did in 69 when they beat the Cubs. So they've done this twice before, and they decided, let's do it again.
Do it again.
Cursed.
Tough. Make it a 3. Yeah, make it a 3.
That's tough. All right. Well, that was another episode of Chalk Talk Social. Appreciate y'all hanging in there with us. We will catch you again on Friday when we come back with it. Get some fans in there. We'll talk a little bit on the news desk with a preview. But until then, everybody have a great week. Be safe out there, and we will